Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a deep dive into someone who I am sure you've heard of, especially if you've been following along with the world of beauty and makeup and all that stuff. She is really someone who was there at the very beginning, Michelle Phan. And we're going to be talking about her whole journey from early YouTube days to kind of a surprising disappearance and then a really interesting comeback.
Yeah.
And all of this is from a document that we have called michellephan.pdf.
Yeah. You know what's so interesting about Michelle Phan is that she really was a pioneer in the digital space, like way before we were using words like influencer. It was 2007, super early days for YouTube. I mean, think about what YouTube was like back then. And she was already creating these super high quality, really cinematic makeup tutorials.
It's wild, right? Because back then, most videos that you would find on YouTube were very basic in terms of how they were shot, how they were edited, the lighting, all of that. But she was creating this content that felt much more like little mini movies than just like, someone talking to a webcam or something. And, I think a really great example of that is her Lady Gaga Bad Romance tutorial.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that video just blew up.
It did.
And it really kind of cemented her place as like this major, force in the beauty world.
And you know what's so smart about that video is that she really was tapping into something that people were already talking about. Bad romance was everywhere.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga was this, icon, and she was able to sort of combine her makeup skills with what was already happening in pop culture, and it created this perfect storm and this viral sensation. And it really kind of shows, from the very beginning, she understood her audience, she understood what people wanted to see, and she was able to deliver that in this really, unique and engaging way.
Absolutely. And, I think it goes beyond her, skill as a makeup artist, which is undeniable.
Oh, yeah. She's incredibly talented.
But she also had this incredible business sense.
Yeah.
She very quickly saw the potential of her platform and, really started building what we would call like an empire today. So, I mean, let's talk about, for instance, her partnership with Lancome.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge deal back then for a YouTuber.
It was really groundbreaking. I mean, most beauty brands at that time weren't even considering working with YouTubers. It wasn't even on their radar. But what Michelle was able to do is she really understood the power of influencer marketing before we were even calling it that.
Yeah.
And she was able to kind of leverage her audience and her credibility to kind of forge these partnerships that would end up changing the game for creators.
And then, of course, you have Ipsy, which is, the $1 billion beauty subscription service that she co-founded in 2011. I mean, that's not just, luck or good timing. That's, real vision. That's business acumen. I mean, she identified a gap in the market. She created a solution that millions of people really resonated with.
And I think what was so smart about Ipsy too is that it wasn't just about offering, beauty products at a discount. It was about creating a community.
Yeah.
It was about this sense of discovery and, a personalized experience. She understood that people, they wanted more than just a transaction.
Yeah.
They wanted to be a part of something.
Right. And it's like she created this whole ecosystem around her brand.
Yeah.
You have the high quality tutorials, you have these, major brand deals, and then you have this innovative subscription service. It's like she had this roadmap for, building a successful business in the digital age before anyone even knew what that map looked like. And let's not forget EM Cosmetics, which was her own makeup line. She clearly wasn't content with just, being the face of beauty. She wanted to create the products. She wanted to have complete control over her brand.
Right. And that's where you really see her, entrepreneurial spirit. She wasn't afraid to, take risks, to experiment and to kind of build something from the ground up.
Yeah.
Launching your own makeup brand is no small feat, especially when you're juggling, multiple other ventures.
So you have Michelle Phan, YouTube star, beauty icon, savvy businesswoman, entrepreneur extraordinaire. You would think that, she'd be riding this wave of success, forever.
Right.
But her story takes a pretty dramatic turn in 2016, and this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, this is where things get interesting. Yeah. So at the height of her success, Michelle does something that no one expected. She vanishes from the internet, deletes all of her social media, gone.
Yeah, it's like she just fell off the face of the earth. Millions of fans were left wondering, like, what happened? Was it a publicity stunt? Did she have some sort of breakdown? Did she just get tired of it all? you know?
And what's even more interesting is that she walked away from this level of success that, most people only dream of.
Right.
It's not like her career was, fading away or anything like that. She was at the top.
Right.
This wasn't like a career move. It was a life choice.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what made it so perplexing to a lot of people.
Yeah, it took a few years, but Michelle eventually did open up about, her reasons for stepping away. And she talked about things like burnout, depression, feeling very trapped by her online persona.
Right.
Feeling this pressure to create content constantly.
Yeah.
And maintain this perfect image all the time.
Yeah. And I think, her experience really kind of speaks to the dark side of online fame. A side that I think we don't often see. There's this constant pressure to perform, this, fear of kind of losing relevance. And, I think for a lot of people in that space, there's this blurring of the lines between your public life and your private life.
Right.
And it can be a lot to handle, especially for someone, who achieves success at such a young age.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good reminder, I think, for all of us that success isn't always what it seems.
Yeah.
Sometimes the people who seem the most successful are the ones who are actually struggling the most. And, I think her decision to prioritize her well-being, over her career was a really brave one. And it's a reminder that it's okay to step away from something that's no longer serving you, even if it looks, really glamorous or exciting from the outside.
Yeah, and I think, her story is also a testament to the importance of resilience and reinvention.
Yeah.
She could have very easily stayed in hiding, but instead she chose to come back on her own terms. And when she did, she came back with this kind of new focus, a new vision, and a new understanding of, I think, herself and the world.
Okay, so let's talk about Michelle 2.0.
Oh.
It is 2019, and she reemerges with this kind of, fascinating blend of interests. You have wellness, you have cryptocurrency, you have self-improvement. It's like she kind of tapped into the zeitgeist again. But this time, it's about more than just makeup.
Right.
It's about personal growth and exploring these new frontiers.
It's almost as if she took that time away to really analyze where things were headed. She comes back and is laser focused on these areas that were just starting to gain mainstream attention. She was talking about NFTs and Bitcoin when most people, were still trying to figure out what those things were.
Yeah. And this is where the Michelle Phan.pdf excerpts get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because she talks about, the power of the creator economy and how technologies like blockchain are going to, complete revolutionize the relationship between creators and their audiences.
Yeah. And, she's not just, riding the wave of Web3.
Right.
She's actively trying to shape it. She sees NFTs as a way for creators to build these deeper relationships with their fans. Offering them exclusive content, access to communities, and, even a share of the profits. She's talking about, a whole new model for creative ownership and fan engagement.
Okay, let's break this down a bit because I know, some of our listeners might not be, totally familiar with like Web3 and NFTs and all of that.
Yeah.
So what exactly is Michelle doing with these technologies and how does it all connect back to her vision for, the creator economy?
Well, so I think the easiest way to think about it is like this Web3 is all about decentralization and giving power back to the users.
Okay.
Right. NFTs are a part of that. So,
Yeah.
NFTs are these digital assets that basically represent ownership of something unique.
Okay.
So instead of just, following a creator on Instagram, imagine owning a piece of their digital art. Imagine having access to exclusive content that they create. Imagine having a say in what they create next. Yeah.
So it's really this, kind of power shift that Web3 and NFTs are enabling.
So it's not just about making money. It's about creating this new kind of relationship.
Right.
Between creators and fans, a relationship that's more, equitable and collaborative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about NFTs either. She's also really passionate about the potential of cryptocurrency to kind of democratize finance. She sees it as a tool for, empowering individuals and creating a more equitable financial system.
Right.
So, again, she's not just jumping on the crypto bandwagon.
Right.
She's thinking deeply about, how these technologies can be used to create a better future. This is what makes, Michelle Phan's story so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just about, beauty or business. It's about this constant evolution, this drive to explore new ideas and to push boundaries. It's about using your platform to make a real difference in the world.
Wow.
It's amazing to see how she's kind of woven all these threads together, right? We started with her as this, makeup guru. Then she steps away to, prioritize her well-being. And now she's back and she's like diving headfirst into the future of, tech and the creator economy. It's not just a comeback. It's like a complete reinvention.
And what's so cool is that she's done all of this while managing to maintain her authenticity.
Right.
Like she's not trying to be someone she's not. She's still the same Michelle Phan, just with this like broader perspective, deeper understanding of, herself and the world. It's like she's taken all those lessons that she learned and channeled them into this new chapter. That's a really good point that you bring up about, authenticity, because one of the things that I think people sometimes criticize about, influencers in this whole, creator economy is that it can feel very superficial.
Yeah.
Very focused on, appearances and selling products.
Mm.
But Michelle seems to be, using her platform to really talk about some bigger issues. Things like mental health, financial empowerment, the future of technology.
Yeah, she's really using her platform to have these like meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
To kind of challenge the status quo and to inspire people to think differently. It's not just about selling products anymore. It's about building communities. It's about fostering these connections and empowering others to create their own success stories.
And she's not just talking about it. She's walking the walk.
Totally.
She's actually building businesses, investing in projects that align with her values. So, for example, she's a huge advocate for, diversity and inclusion in the tech space.
Yeah.
And she's putting her money where her mouth is.
Yeah.
Investing in mentoring these up-and-coming entrepreneurs from underrepresented communities.
Yeah, she's really using her influence and her resources to make a tangible impact. It's not just about building a personal brand, it's about building a legacy.
So I think, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the things that you think we can learn from Michelle Phan's journey? What are the key takeaways, for our listener who might be navigating, their own path in this rapidly changing world?
Well, I think her story is a good reminder that success isn't a destination. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's about constantly evolving, adapting to new challenges and being open to new possibilities. It's about embracing failure as a learning opportunity and using setbacks to fuel your growth.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's also about defining success on your own terms.
Totally.
Michelle could have easily kept going down the path that she was on.
Right.
But she made a conscious decision to step away and redefine what success meant for her.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we can all learn from. It's okay to question those, traditional markers of success and to prioritize your well-being, your values, and your passions.
Absolutely. And, maybe most importantly, her story is a testament to the power of resilience and reinvention.
Yeah.
No matter what challenges you face, no matter how many setbacks you encounter, you always have the ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start again.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes that reinvention leads you to something even more fulfilling and impactful than you could have ever imagined.
Wow. What a deep dive. From makeup tutorials to cryptocurrency. Michelle Phan's journey has been anything but predictable. She is a true pioneer, a visionary, and I think an inspiration to anyone who has ever dared to dream big and to really chase their passions. So where do you think Michelle Phan will go from here? What kind of impact do you think she'll have on the world? Let us know your thoughts, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.